The eerie glow of the gas station sign flickered against the night sky as I pulled in, my car's low fuel indicator a glaring reminder of my need to stop. It was late, well past midnight, and the road had been deserted for miles. The gas station, a solitary beacon in the darkness, seemed almost otherworldly. I stepped out of the car, the chill of the night air causing me to shiver. The station was quiet, too quiet, with only the distant hum of a generator breaking the silence. As I approached the pump, I noticed it. An old, beat-up car parked on the side, engine off, windows fogged up. There was something unsettling about it, but I tried to brush off the feeling. Fumbling with my wallet, I inserted my card into the reader, but it beeped back at me. Error! Sighing, I walked towards the service window, hoping to find an attendant. The interior was dimly lit, and as I peered through the grimy glass, I saw no one. I knocked, but there was no response. A sudden sound from behind made me turn. The door of the old car had opened, and a figure stepped out, shrouded in shadows. My heart raced. "Hello?" I called out, trying to sound calm, but my voice betrayed a hint of fear. The figure didn't respond, but started walking towards the station, their steps slow and deliberate. I could now see that it was a man, tall and gaunt, his clothes ragged and dirty. He stopped a few feet away from me, his face hidden in the darkness. "Can I help you?" I asked, my hand instinctively going to the phone in my pocket. He remained silent, just staring at me, or at least it felt like it. I took a step back, my mind racing. What did this man want? Why was he here in the middle of nowhere at this ungodly hour? I decided to head back to my car, but as I turned, I heard a soft, raspy voice. "Don't go," the man said, his tone neither threatening nor friendly. I froze, unsure of what to do. "What do you want?" I asked, trying to mask the tremble in my voice. He took a step closer, and in the dim light, I could now see his face. It was gaunt, with deep-set eyes that seemed to bore into me. "You shouldn't be here," he whispered, his voice barely audible. My heart pounded in my chest. This had to be some sort of sick joke. "Look, I just need some gas and I'll be on my way," I said, trying to sound assertive. He shook his head slowly. "It's not safe. They come at night." "Who comes at night?" I asked, a sense of dread washing over me. He didn't answer, just stared at me with those haunting eyes. I decided to make a run for my car. Just as I reached for the door, I heard it, a low, guttural growl coming from the darkness beyond the gas station's lights. I froze, my hand on the car door. The growling grew louder, more menacing. I glanced back at the man, but he was gone, vanished into the night. Panic set in. I jumped into my car and tried to start it, but the engine sputtered and died. I was trapped. The growling was getting closer, and now I could hear heavy, uneven footsteps approaching. I locked the doors and ducked down, my heart racing. I could see shadows moving outside, large, hulking shapes circling my car. The growling was deafening now, and I could hear the creatures sniffing and scratching at the doors. I don't know how long I stayed there, crouched in fear, but eventually, the growling receded, and the night fell silent again. I waited, not daring to move until the first light of dawn crept into the sky. As the sun rose, the shadows vanished, and the gas station appeared normal again. Shaking, I managed to start my car and drove away as fast as I could, not looking back. To this day, I don't know what I encountered at that gas station. Was it just my imagination, fueled by exhaustion and fear? Or was there something truly sinister lurking in the darkness, something that comes out only at night? I may never know, but one thing is certain. I'll never stop at a lonely gas station in the dead of night again. It was a chilly November night, and the wind howled like a pack of wolves outside. I was driving back from a late shift at work, my eyes heavy with exhaustion. The road was nearly empty, the only light coming from my car's headlights and the occasional flickering street lamp. As my gas light flickered on, a sense of unease crept over me. I knew there was a gas station a few miles ahead, but in this part of town, things could get a bit weird. The kind of weird you don't talk about because no one would believe you. I pulled into the station. the neon sign buzzing and flickering in a way that made my skin crawl. There was something off about the place, like a scene from a horror movie just before things go south. The station was deserted, no other cars or people in sight. I tried to shake off the eerie feeling as I got out to pump gas. That's when I heard it, a soft whisper, like someone calling out from a distance. I spun around, but there was no one there. My heart started racing. It's just the wind, I thought, trying to convince myself. As the gas pumped, I glanced around and noticed the station's shop. It was dimly lit, but I could make out the figure of someone behind the counter. Seeking some human presence to shake off my unease, I decided to go in and grab a snack. The bell above the door jingled as I entered. The person behind the counter was an old man, his eyes sunk deep into his head, giving him a skull-like appearance. He didn't say a word, just watched me as I picked up a bag of chips. "Quiet night, huh?" I attempted small talk. He just nodded, his gaze never leaving me. I paid and hurried out, feeling his eyes boring into my back. Back at the pump, I heard the whisper again, closer this time. I froze, scanning the area. That's when I saw it. A figure, partly hidden behind one of the pillars. It looked like a person, but wrong. Its limbs were too long and it seemed to twitch unnaturally. Panic surged through me. I yanked the pump from my car, spilling gas in my haste. The figure moved closer, its movements jerky and erratic. I jumped into my car, slamming the door and locking it. My heart pounded as I fumbled with the keys. The figure was now right outside my window, its face hidden in the shadows. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Then, it tapped on the window, a slow, deliberate sound that chilled me to the bone. The tapping grew faster, more urgent. I finally found the strength to turn the key, and the engine roared to life. I floored the gas pedal, tires screeching as I sped away from the station. In the rearview mirror, I saw the figure standing in the middle of the road, watching me leave. The rest of the drive home was a blur. I didn't stop shaking until I was safely inside my house, the doors locked and the lights on. The next day, I heard a story about that gas station on the news. A body had been found there, hidden away in a back room. They said it had been there for years, the victim of an unsolved murder. I never drove past that gas station again, and I never forgot the terror of that night. The figure at the window, the tapping on the glass, and the feeling that something otherworldly was reaching out from the shadows. It was a night like any other, or so I thought. I had been driving for hours, the monotonous hum of the engine my only companion on the lonely interstate. My eyes were heavy, craving rest, but I was determined to push through to the next town. That's when I saw it, an old gas station, standing like a beacon in the darkness. Desperate for a break and a stretch, I pulled over. The station was an eerie relic from the past, with its flickering neon sign and a single, dimly lit pump. I parked my car and stepped out, feeling the chill of the night wrap around me. The air was thick with an unexplainable sense of dread, but I brushed it off as fatigue. I approached the pump, and that's when I first felt it, the sensation of being watched. I glanced around, but there was no one in sight, just an empty highway and the sound of crickets in the distance. I shook off the feeling and started to fill my tank. The pump was old and slow, groaning with every gallon. I heard a soft rustling behind me and spun around, my heart pounding in my chest. But again, there was nothing, just the wind whispering through the trees. As the tank filled, I decided to use the restroom. The door creaked ominously as I pushed it open, revealing a small, dingy room lit by a flickering bulb. The mirror was cracked, and as I washed my hands, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Then I heard it. A faint whisper, almost like a sigh coming from the other side of the wall. I froze, my eyes locked on the mirror. For a split second, I thought I saw a shadow move behind me. I spun around, but the room was empty. Heart racing, I hurried back to my car, eager to leave this place behind. But as I reached for the door handle, a chilling realization struck me. My car keys were gone. I patted my pockets frantically, but they were definitely not there. Panic set in as I retraced my steps back to the restroom. The whispering grew louder, more insistent. It seemed to be coming from inside the walls. I searched the restroom desperately, but the keys were nowhere to be found. Suddenly, the lights flickered and went out, plunging me into darkness. I stumbled back, my breath coming in short gasps. That's when I heard it, a low, guttural growl right behind me. I didn't wait to see what it was. I bolted from the restroom, my heart thundering in my chest. As I ran towards my car, the growling followed, getting closer and closer. I reached my car and fumbled with the door, praying it was unlocked. To my immense relief, it was. I dove inside, locking the doors behind me. I didn't dare to look back as I started the car and sped away from that cursed gas station. As I drove into the night, the growling faded into the distance, but the terror remained. I couldn't shake the feeling that something had been there with me, something dark and malevolent. To this day, I still wonder what lurked in the shadows of that gas station. Was it a figment of my tired mind, or something far more sinister? I guess I'll never know. But one thing is for certain, I'll never stop at a lonely gas station at night again.